All right, everyone. Welcome back to That Variety Nerd. I'm Christina, and today we are back more. We are back with more Sims 4 Island Living, and today we are doing yet another renovation. This was in one of the starter homes, and it went well over the starter home price. Everything's fine. So yeah, this lot was starting to get on my nerves after a while with this decking here. Because I wanted to sort of tie everything together, and my logic is like if it's an island paradise, or well, yeah, I mean that's the Sims 3 pack title of island living, but you know what? It's fine. I was thinking like, okay, we want to have like a nice big sort of like windows everywhere, just to soak in all the rays. A private balcony would be ideal, right? You want to have your own little space to where you can just relax, read a book, not deal with just the world. And so that's what I was going for and sort of wanted to have as a focal point. However, decks are glitching out, and that makes me mad. Like, I play tested this like 10 times, and the deck wasn't working. So if you're downloading this from the gallery, I also just sort of recommend just to um, not use the deck or just get rid of it entirely. So there's that. And so in case you're like, "Hey, it's not working." You know why. It's glitched out. You'll see it. It's really messed up. I don't know if anyone else is having that issue or what, but I sure have. But anyway, so I was trying to keep the character of this house very much similar. I wanted to have some dark tones to it, but also keep the light in there. I was also playing around with some of these like new build buy objects just because I felt like it sort of needed it. And I was just curious to see how everything went. But yeah, as you can see, everything was like super glitching out, and I was like not thrilled about that. And as always, I playtest these things, so it's like, I'm a decent person. But like this was just not working. Sometimes I miss things, so if I ever miss anything, or if you're like, hey, like this isn't working, like please let me know. I want to make sure that I'm making my builds accessible and just functional. I think that's reasonable. That's really reasonable. But yeah, so I really wanted to feature a lot of this outside stuff a lot more. I just wanted something simple, very basic. I try to keep some rooms that are more open-ended, and I like to keep my layouts at least more open-ended, just so that way I can give everyone a chance to just sort of play around with it and make it their own, because like obviously I'm not going to have the same taste as everyone else. So yeah, there was that. I also wanted to make it like functional in the sense of like, oh, okay, like we can actually use the space. And that's sort of what I go for generally speaking when I put in these when I do renovations. I want to make sure that each room has a purpose that you can do something in, whether that's skill building, sleeping, whatever. And yeah, that's what I was going for. I wanted to make this one lighter because, the one on Tuesday that I worked on, that one was a little bit more darker around the outside. And so we keep the lightness, we keep the light sort of theme going on the interior of this, but in general, like this build, or this remodel, I should say, was insanely frustrating. I was trying to figure out, like, oh, okay, maybe I'll include some of these new objects. It was just not functioning, as you could sort of see. It wasn't being specific as to where I should place these things, and just, yeah, it was sort of a mess. Like, I still had a little bit of, like, land to play with, and it was just like, no, you're not allowed to place this here. And I'm just like, screw you guys. Like, let me place things wherever I want. So that's where I was going at some point. But yeah, the master bedroom balcony is basically not functional, but I still kept it in there anyway in case if it gets fixed. So there's that. So if you're hearing this, like little balconies are not working. But I did something a little bit different. Instead of like using just regular paint in this renovation, I used more wood tones just to sort of switch things up a little bit. I love trying new things out. I like just seeing where everything's going. I want to include a couple of those glass pieces because I thought that was kind of cool. And so yeah, also I thought the foundation was just like not working. But yeah, I want to use that wood tone and just use the different shades across the build, which I thought was really cool. Want to use some more of those new palm trees, because why not? It's an island. I mean, they're bound to be there. So yeah, I wanted to go for and use more of these counters, even though we don't have an island or cabinets yet for them, which is kind of amusing because that's not the only pack that's happened to. And originally I was going to put the table like right in here, but I do something a little bit different. Something that I usually don't do, but it sort of reminds me of just like my own kitchen back in my hometown, where there's sort of like the table, or at least in some cases you have like a table that's like right next to the counters. So that way it all sort of just ties in together nice and neatly. And then there's like another table That's in a little dining area in and of itself right over here. And yeah, this one again, it uses Laundry Day stuff, Island Living, and base game. So only like 2 packs. So if you don't have Laundry Day stuff, that's okay. There's like a little tiny room that I end up creating, which is like a laundry room area, but you could easily turn that into something else. So yeah, you could easily turn that into like just a rec room or a closet or a pantry. You could turn into something, just something small. It's only like a 2 by 2 square. You can make a half bath. You could do whatever you want. But yeah, as you can see, I made another table over there. I have a little table that's actually right next to my kitchen, so it sort of makes sense, like logistically speaking. Some people have an extra little table in their kitchen, and they also have like a nice dining area, sort of like in that same little space. Which some people might think, oh, that doesn't make any sense, but some people, like my mom, for example, some people like to sit in the kitchen. I enjoyed sitting. I did a lot of my homework at the dining room table, and now it's like I just sit on my couch and eat snacks and just hope for the best whenever I'm writing a paper or doing any sort of homework. Or I just drink a ton of iced coffee and just hope for the best. But yeah, I recorded this, I think, on Monday. I basically recorded like all my videos for this week on Monday, added some voiceovers on Tuesday, and yeah, so this should be up at some point just Thursday. So yeah, get excited about that. I'm not sure where I'm going to go next because of the fact that, like, oh, we have, like, Island Living. That's going to be done, like, well, my first round of content is going to be more or less complete on Friday slash tomorrow. Because I want to do, like, 1 week that was just dedicated, just focusing on Island Living. Obviously, Rags to Riches so far hasn't featured as much gameplay as I would like to, but we're going to slowly integrate it slowly but surely. We're doing like Rags to Riches turned Legacy Challenge eventually, so we're starting out more Rags to Riches, and then it'll be more of a Legacy Challenge. Because I feel like if a pack made any sense to do a Legacy Challenge with, it had to be Island Living. To me, it made sense because it's all about the culture and tradition and stuff like that. And I figured it was very timely. Plus, I've never finished a Legacy Challenge. I usually get like 3 or 4 generations in, and then I quit. So this is a way of holding my own self accountable. So we'll see how it goes. I might go back to Moving on Up challenge. We shall see. That way we got 2 very different series. We got roommates in one, we got a city in one, and then we got an island in another. So go figure. But anyway, I totally recommend getting this pack, and I also recommend getting Laundry Day stuff with it, just because, like, and I've said this a couple times in previous videos, but they just tie in nicely together. I mean, you have a lot of that wicker and rustic furniture that is in the Island Living pack, and also with Laundry Day stuff as well. I haven't played around with the Jungle Adventure stuff yet, but I heard it ties in pretty decently as well. Again, sort of the same concept. But yeah, if you don't have like Laundry Day stuff, like you can just turn that little 2 by 2 space into something else. Like you can extend a bed, you could expand it into potentially another bedroom. You could extend it into like a half bath. You could do whatever you want. That's how I see it. But yeah, this bedroom here was sort of a pain. Again, because of that balcony, and yeah, the whole thing's a mess. There's some pretty awful sort of glitches that are happening in this pack, and I'm like, okay, I'm just building a bunch of lots. I'm not adding a ton of Sims or renovating a bunch of lots. So the goal so far is to sort of renovate what we have right now and then just sort of build from there. I'm starting out with the smaller sort of communities and just going from there, or or whatever I feel like putting in there. So yeah, that's exciting. And just in general, I really enjoyed putting this one together, despite the stupid deck being more of a pain in the butt. But it's everything's fine. Just everything's fine. Nothing is fine. I'm only kidding. Oh! Also, I forgot to share this on the Tuesday video, but on Monday they announced season 9 of American Horror Story, which is just called AHS 1984, is coming out on September 18th. So mark that down in your calendar. I don't know what time yet, but just mark it down in your calendar. Like, put it as one of those like all-day reminder things just to remind yourself. Like, there's no shame in it. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I love AHS. I did a rewatch this summer as well. I've had a lot of free time this summer, but I'm perfectly fine with it because I'm like, oh, well, when the heck am I going to get another summer break? I don't know. We'll see how this goes. But yeah, I've just been putting the finishing touches pretty much just to make sure that everything's sort of tying in together. I wanted to feature these curtains because I'm in love with these curtains. I'm not even joking. But as you can see, some of them, they don't clip on well, move objects on or not. I also tried to Wait, why did it go dark? Okay, my screen just went dark because I haven't touched it in roughly like 10 minutes, so that's how my life is going. But yeah, as you can see, oh, here we go. This is the glitchy deck. Do you see how it looks see-through, but it's like not see-through? I was trying so hard to try to figure out what was going on. I tried using a regular room, and it was just not working. Like, it was glitching out. I couldn't place furniture, as you could see. The whole thing was kind of a hot mess, for lack of a better term. It was a mess. Like, the deck is basically unusable because of just glitches, whatever the case might be. And yeah, I just want to do something a little bit different. I want to include like a full bathroom. Probably not the greatest mirror choice, but it's fine. Everything's fine. Oh yeah, so that toilet that I just put in, they included new swatches with Island Living. So that way they tie in with the counters and the new, like, just everything. I also just includes just some very like just odds and ends towards the end. And coming up soon, we're going to be entering into the screenshots, which is very, very exciting because I think the screenshots really do this place justice. And I'm not just saying that in every video. I'm just saying because, it makes sense and we want to see how this thing looks just without like much speed happening. And yeah, so that's the living room area, which is like right in the front. That way, like, we can actually have a flat screen and just sort of switch things up a little bit. Again, sort of the same furniture, but also not at the same time. It all sort of just ties together. That's a little bar area, and I really love this coming up screenshot right here, where it's just like all this decorative stuff. It's just kind of all over the place, and I'm all for it. But yeah, I hope you all are having a really awesome day so far. All my social media is down in the description below. I will also be streaming on Twitch tonight because it's Thursday, and I always stream on Twitch on Tuesdays and Thursdays unless my internet's being a giant turd sandwich. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I will see you all later. Bye, everyone!